Alright, hey everybody, welcome to Clark's Place today. If you watched the last video, I was kind of scrambling to finish some last minute things as far as getting the body exactly where I want it. So today, I'm going to say is the first part in the final prep before paint, and then I'm going to do a series of videos on all the things that you need to do to paint. So, getting it in sealer, my process of painting with stripes, painted stripes like the Bumblebee stripe on the back, the V21 hood treatment option up front, and all the processes. So this might be a 8-part series, so we'll see. But today I'm going through and just gonna knock it off and probably maybe get the sealer going. We'll see. I've got the door and that fender to finish sanding to 300. It's dusty, so I'll clean everything first, but none of the inside has been done, none of the Dutchman, and none of the bottom, and all of that stuff is the stuff that I'm going to seal first and paint red first. So, not sure what it'll turn into. If something is interesting or something that I find some dents or this or that, I'll show, and otherwise I might just time-lapse most of the whole thing. So, snapping back to regular time when I find some stuff. So, hope you enjoy. Thanks. Okay, here's one of those things that when you're putting together your panels, this rocker goes all the way straight, and you can see where the quarter is. It kind of kicks down. This one's actually worse than the other side. And I know I'm being picky, but it looks like the quarter was mounted and this was just a little too low, like that needed to come up some. So for that transition, I'm gonna put some filler like right in here to I'm not gonna eliminate that where it kind of flares out a little bit at the back, but if you look, this is a pretty crisp line all the way down, and then it softens right here where it makes that transition. So I'm gonna try to straighten that out some, and maybe a little dip in here too. Maybe I didn't have that rocker bent exactly right, so I'm gonna try to make that, and I'm doing all this with one eye closed so I can look at it, but I'm not even looking at the screen. Yeah, so maybe I can put just a little bit of filler and then shape this to get this to where it doesn't make that little wiggle in, and then down there just a little bit to straighten that out. But this one's worse than the other side. We'll see what I do. But overall, the door came out pretty good. Didn't really see any spots except for this, and that didn't get through. That just shaved the primer. You can see I got another black layer beneath that, so that should be all flush. We'll see. Yeah, next up, fender. All right, didn't look super pretty in the time lapse, but I think I've got that line a little bit closer. There's this should all connect now as I grind and take and level this all out. I'll try to keep a line there that follows through, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to get away with fixing this. I'm just gonna hopefully connect this to that the rocker just kind of comes down and falls out with the rear wheel well, and that might look okay. But there also was a little curve in right there that as I look down it, I think I might be able to shape that corner more straightenest. Yeah. Okay, onto the fender. All right, continuing to get stuff ready for paint. My battery tray goes in. You can see those holes line up pretty good.
Right
and
here.
Then
The brackets.
Doug just took the feet and kind of marked where that hole fits, lines up, and you can
With
see
this hole here.
the hole there lines up there. And then he said on the back side, you can take that down, Pop.
Got it.
Since that new apron went over the top, you can see the actual holes right here and here. I think we just drill those holes out, Doug. And then there's enough play.
Yeah, you might. This one seems like it's off a little bit. Looks more like this hole is.
I'd say
maybe
let's
not,
put
maybe not. Yeah, do that.
let's
Drill
put
those
them in
holes
those holes.
Yeah.
And then there'll be enough play
We
with
can
the top
adjust,
bolts
yes.
that I can adjust and then cinch down the battery tray.
Yeah.
But
out. Yeah, I would drill it out from here.
yeah, I want to
one
get
first.
holes through the body before paint. I don't want to be drilling through paint.
Hand me
so
a punch first.
That's another
please.
thing.
Yeah, I'll give you the punch.
Punch it out. All right, so getting down to the final stages. You can see to straighten that line, I think I did this in another video, is I'm closing my eye again to look at it, but this now kind of curves down and curves a little bit for that rear quarter. And the other side does too. I'm not sure if that's how it should be from the factory or not, but I went around and I just had a little bit of sanding lines in here, had a little bit of a chunk out of it right here between the green Bondo and the pink Bondo, and then there was a little transition down here, and this is a high spot. Like the level kind of teeters on this high spot. I don't know if there's a brace in there. It's been too long since I've welded up this rocker to know, but it kind of angles a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch from this point up, that it teeters just like tink 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 tink, and filled all this edge to make that a perfectly straight edge. And there were a little bit of sanding lines in here that I think I'll get out, but there was a little chunk like pinhole in the Bondo there. I think some sanding lines in there. And I don't think I did anything else back here, so coming along. Yeah. And once I get primer, I'll sand these out, get all this primed, and I'll throw some primer back over the top of this, like in this section, and then sand it out and see if I need to tap this in, because you can see all the layers of primer that I did. We got gray, black, gray, black, then the etching primer, and then there's that little silver dot in the center. So I don't feel it, but maybe one more layer of primer over the top of that and we'll see. Looks like there's a little low spot right there. So that's kind of where we're at, getting closer and closer. Okay, so last look at all of the crazy bodywork on the stinking rocker. You can see that's the original pink Bondo or U-Pole, whatever I used to transition that area. But all that's new, all the green is new, and everything is super slick all the way down there. You can see the bare metal is right there close, and then there's just primer, so it's not got a whole lot. I'll prime this and then prime that, and I softened this door edge because it was just like a razor blade. So final stuff's getting all the little, all this is super slick all along that crevice. I don't want any crusties anywhere. So this is the last look before primer, and I'll do the same on the other side, and that should be the end of the first video of final prep work. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all those good things, and comment if you got any questions. Happy to answer. Bye-bye.